Motion. So what exactly is motion? Motion is the movement of an object from one place to another or from one point to another. So let's say I decide to move from where am I right now to a particular point, then I'm trying to perform a motion because as soon as I move from one point to another, then I'm performing motion. Well, in some textbook, they will say they define motion as the change in direction of a body with time. That is, as a body changes, it changes with time. So both of them are still the same. Now we have different types of motion, but basically the most common type of motion are four. And this type of motion also has some subtypes. So we are going to be discussing both in depth. So let's get into it right away. So for the first type of motion, this is known as translational motion. So the first one is translational motion. So a translational motion is the movement of an object from one place to another. So let's say I decide to move from one point to another, then what type of motion am I undergoing? Then in that case, I'm undergoing a translational motion. Now, let's now say I decide to move from one point to another. But right away from where I started from, all the way to my destination, I didn't change my direction. That is, I keep moving on a straight line. Now, in this case, that is when the idea of rectilinear motion comes in. So, rectilinear motion is the movement of an object from one place to another on a straight line. So, as soon as an object keeps moving on a straight line with no change in direction, then the object is said to be performing a rectilinear motion. So, rectilinear motion is the subtype of translational motion. It's a type of translational motion. Some textbook will combine both of them together as translational motion, translational or rectilinear motion, and define it as the movement of an object from one place to another or from one point to another on a straight line. They are still the same. So what the difference between them is that rectilinear, the object will keep moving on a straight line, while translational, the object will just be moving. It might change direction at any moment. So let's get into the second type of motion, which is known as rotational motion. So rotational motion is the movement of an object from one place to another about its axis. It's movement of an object from one place to another about its axis. So example of object undergoing rotational motion is the earth. The earth rotates about its axis. So unlike the translational motion, rotational motion also has a subtype, which is known as circular motion. So many students used to make confusion with these two different types of motion. Some will find it very difficult to distinguish between them. So I would like to make a clarification between the both. So for circular motion, what exactly is circular motion? For a circular motion is the movement of an object from one place to another about a fixed point. Take note of that, about a fixed point. So what exactly is the difference between rotational motion and circular motion? But before we get into that, let's talk about an example, a single example of circular motion. An example of circular motion is the movement of a car round a round and go. So when a car is moving around a round and go, then the object or the car tends to be undergoing a circular motion. Now, what exactly is the difference between rotational motion and circular motion? So please listen very attentively. For rotational motion, the body performing rotational motion itself will be fixed. It will only be rotating about its axis. That is, it will be spinning around itself. While for a body performing circular motion, it won't be fixed. It will only be moving around a fixed point. So that is the most basic concrete difference between rotational motion and circular motion. Okay, let me come again. Rotational motion, the body performing rotational motion itself will be fixed. It will only be moving around its axis. Why? For circular motion, it will not be fixed. It will only be moving around a fixed point. Simple. Now, I want you guys to know that a body can be performing two or more type of motion at the same times. Let's take, for instance, let's assume the earth itself as well. The earth is spinning around itself, which makes it to be performing or undergoing rotational motion. And at the same time, this earth moves around the sun, which makes it to be undergoing circular motion. So it turns that a body can perform more than one motion at the same time. So without any further ado, let's get right away into the third type of motion, which is known as oscillatory motion. So what exactly is oscillatory motion? Oscillatory motion is the movement of an object to and fro about a fixed point. Some we said periodic motion, while some we said vibrational motion. It is still the same. As soon as the object is moving from one point to another at the same distance to each other, then the object is said to be undergoing oscillating motion. So let's assume object is moving from north to south, west to east, up and down, left to the right, then the object at the same distance, then the object is said to be performing oscillatory motion. An example of object or body undergoing oscillatory motion is the motion of a pendulum bulb. When a pendulum bulb is given a slight tilt, it tends to be moving from one point to another at the same distance. Another example of objects undergoing oscillating motion is the motion of a piston in a gasoline engine. If you have ever seen a piston before, you observe that it will keep moving either up and down or left and right at the same distance. So that's the basic idea behind oscillatory motion. So for the last type of motion, which is known as random motion. So what exactly is random motion? So random motion is the movement of an object from one point to another in irregular manner or in a zigzag manner. So random motion is the movement of an object in irregular manner or in a zigzag manner. So from the word random, you should be able to figure out what it means. It means movement of object with no specification. So as soon as object is moving from one point to another with no specific direction, then the object is said to be moving in a random motion or is said to be undergoing a random motion. So an example of object undergoing random motion is the motion of a mosquito. You can't specify the motion of a mosquito as it will keep shouting here and there, moving in unknown manner. While another example is the motion of a smoke. Smoke also, you can't specify the direction of the smoke, and so on and so forth. So that is the basic idea behind motion and its type, and hopefully you guys are able to differentiate between those subtypes ones and others. So if you like this video, please make sure you give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you guys in the next video. Subscribe now. Thank you. So here is an exercise for you guys. So if you want me to review your answer, you can comment your answer in the comment section below, and I promise to reply as early as possible. Okay, so see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching once again. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.